Or be quiet. Why are you guys so anti-dictators? Imagine if America was a dictatorship. You could let 1% of the people have all the nation's wealth. You could help your rich friends get richer by cutting their taxes and bailing them out when they gamble and lose. You could ignore the needs of the poor for healthcare and education. Your media would appear free, but would secretly be controlled by one person and his family. You could wiretap phones. You could torture foreign prisoners. You could have rigged elections. You could lie about why you go to war. You could fill your prisons with one particular racial group, and no one would complain. You could use the media to scare the people into supporting policies that are against their interests. I know this is hard for you Americans to imagine, but please try. I will tell you what democracy is. Democracy is the worst. Endless talking and listening to every stupid opinion, and everybody's vote counts, no matter how crippled or black or female they are. Democracy!
Alright, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say Ka Halal Yahweh, Wa Yahweh Shai, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to the elect pushing His word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. I wanted to do a video on America, and I'm going to call this video About America, because other than, even some people outside of GMS, but predominantly GMS, we're the only ones, we're the only group that preaches America, about America being Babylon the Great and Egypt and Sodom and Gomorrah all in one. Spiritually, that's what America is. That's why America basically is like the Mecca of wickedness in the whole world. And what I mean by Mecca is the center of wickedness of the whole world. Just like at one point Rome was the center of wickedness. Also, America is Rome all over again too. Babylon was the center of the known world at that time of wickedness. And so here we are again with America falling right into the same footsteps as her ancestors, because there's reincarnation in the Bible. So America is just Babylon, Egypt, Rome, pagan Rome all over again. So in the clip I played before, just the clip you saw before this video was from a movie called Borat. And that's why I love watching movies and TV shows, because if the Most High has opened up your mind to this truth, you can see all the subliminal messages that Esau sends out through his shows, through his movies and his TV shows, because these directors and writers for these shows and movies are working, or either in agreement with Esau, or working for Esau everybody's really working for Esau at this point, but they have a certain level in the Illuminati, so, and they're most likely Jewish people too, so they understand these scriptures, and that's all they're doing. They put their truth into their movies, and they play them out. But the Most High has opened your mind to this truth to see those subliminal messages. And in the movie, in that clip before, he was saying what if to all these statements, but that is what America is today. There ain't no democracy in America. That's bullshit. America is a dictatorship under the rulership of these elites, which are Edomites. Alright? They're not so-called white people, but they're Edomites. Their line goes back to Esau, which is a wicked man. They're physical counterparts of Satan, just like we're the physical counterparts. Israel's the physical counterpart of the Most High and His Son. Okay? His Son too. So anyways, I'm just going to read Revelation 18. It basically goes into exactly what I wanted. But this is another prophecy that we're waiting for America they were waiting on to happen to America, which is Revelation, the whole chapter. I'm not going to read the whole chapter, but the whole chapter is a prophecy in great detail that is yet to happen to America and will happen soon. All right. So this is Revelation 18:01, and it reads, "And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils." Now, for you Christians out there, because you know, out of all the people on the planet, you Christians seem to think you know the Bible more than everybody else, but yet can't prove whatever it is that you know. So I ask you, if Babylon was already destroyed, then why is it talking about? Okay, at this point, this is Revelation. The book of Revelation is all future prophecies that have yet to happen, or are happening right now. So if Babylon was destroyed, looking back at history, way back then, thousands of years ago, how is it talking about Babylon being destroyed now? Okay? It's because Babylon spiritually is America. That's why, and Egypt, that's why on the dollar bill they have that pyramid on there with the all-seeing eye, because all that stuff that they do, all those worshiping that these elites do, and that witchcraft they do, all goes back to Egypt. They get all these customs and tradition from Egypt. Furthermore, you want to get deeper, they do so because in because the spirit, some of those people, well, really, actually, no, not they're not actually the Egyptians, but they share the same goals as being pagan worshippers, man. Right? Because at the end of the day, Esau is a heathen. Right? The only people that actually have that are upright because they have laws is supposed to be Israel. But even 2/3 of Israel doesn't stand upright because they act like animals. They disobey the Most High's law, and that's why the Most High gave us the law, His word, which is the law, is to separate us from the heathens, because the heathens don't have law. They live as they please. They act according to how they feel, not according to what's right and wrong. That's why it's these heathens that are so more susceptible to worshiping false gods and doing all this nasty, vain abominations like homosexuality. It's not supposed to be our people, but since we live in a world that's so wicked now, and our people have become so wicked that 2/3 of our own people are doing wickedness even worse than the wicked themselves, which is off, man. That's crazy. That's why the Most High has to destroy you 2/3, man. That's why we don't care about you 2/3 right now, because right now there's nothing we can say or do to convince you that what you're doing is wicked. You know, you're either hard headed or you just have too many demons on you for the message to get through. But it says, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and which means because America is going to be made a desert. All these foul beasts. Oh, it's about to read it. Let the Bible speak. It's just about to say it right here. It says, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Right? Because the Most High made unclean animals and clean animals. Right? There's a balance to everything. So America is going to be a wasteland once the Most High is done with it. Once you got nuclear missiles, all the ICBM missiles shot at it, and then you got the war between Esau and his army against Yahushua and his army, and then the chariots involved. Like, it's going to be a great wasteland. You got other parts of the world that are going to be deserts as well, or other parts of the world that are going to be destroyed as well. Like Israel today is going to be destroyed because Israel today is filthy. It's the capital for homosexuality, but that's supposed to be God's people that live there. That's blasphemy, man. Verse 3, it says, For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, which means basically everybody, like, cause everybody in one way or another is copying America. America started all, like I said, America's the mecca of wickedness in this world. So you got a little bit of Americans, a little bit of America in everybody, really, right? You know, if you want to go play professional sports, the best place to play that is in America. You want to be successful and be famous, well, you go to America. You know, you can go to all these other places, but your best, you know, where you're most seen and you're most compensated is in America, because America was that city, you know, like just like Rome back in the day, just like Egypt back in the day, and just like Babylon back in the day, and also Sodom and Gomorrah too. And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. How have the kings of the earth committed fornication with America? Well, one example is trading. You know, even though we here in the Western Hemisphere we run under the currency of fiat currency, you got something called the petrodollar, which is basically how America, or how other nations and America trade goods between one another using the petrodollar. So if you want to purchase goods from America, but you're from Europe, and you're European or Chinese or whatever it may be, well, you are offered, or you have to give your goods or buy whatever it is either you're giving or buying from America. You either have to buy America's products in their currency, in or you trade your goods for America's protection, because you know over there in Saudi Arabia, I mean, Esau has a bunch of um, army bases set up in so many different places across the world. Guess what? That's the nature of this devil, man. He's a because he got cursed in Genesis. The Most High made him a wanderer and a vagabond upon the earth. So really, Esau has no home. His spirit is in his spirit to wander the world and try to take over whatever land he comes upon. You know, they did that because the real Greeks are actually the Japhites. You Edomites that call yourself Greeks and Romans, you guys were actually just Edomites, but you went to the land of the true Greeks, which were Japhites, and the true Romans, which were Japhites, and you took over that land and took and warred against those people and destroyed those people and called yourself those people, just like you did. That's what you're doing today. You took over this land, and now you took over Israel, and you took over this land, and now you're calling yourself the Israelites. You're calling yourself Jewish people, the Jews, where you're not the real Jews. So that's the nature of Esau, man. And every nation in this planet has committed fornication with her through one way or the other. And it's about to even get worse through when this new world order starts up, which is going to be also called one world order. So the whole world is going to be one under Esau's rulership, just like back in the day when they were trying to build the Tower of Babel. All right, so it says they have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. All right, because like I said, just before a couple years ago, America was the center, still is, but the center of everything, you know, really. Clothes, food, merchandise, everything. It says, I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people. Now, the apostles always say this, but this is going to be said in Hebrew. So only the elect are really going to understand this. They're going to really hear the cry of the angel when he says, come out of her, my people, that ye may not be partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. That's why we do this thing, man. That's why we preach this truth. Not just because we're compelled to, but we're compelled to also because the elect, alright, sincerely don't actually want to be partakers of America's sins, man. Especially you brothers that live over there in America that are sincerely doing this work. I know you brothers understand the wickedness of America more than me. Cause I'm out here in Canada and I'm living in part of my language, but buttfuck nowhere out here in Saskatchewan, Regina, where it's minus 40, minus 50 at times. But the brothers who live in California, New York, different parts of America, Chicago, they see the wickedness firsthand. And those brothers out there that are sincerely doing the work, they sincerely don't want to be partakers of her sins. That's why they do the work so diligently. And by doing that, we will not receive of her plagues because America has a lot coming for it, man. She has a lot coming for her. I mean, a lot. By the time Yahweh Shai is done with America, it's going to be a desert, like the scriptures say, a wasteland. That's just going to be a home for devils, and all type of nasty beasts and vile birds. It's not going to be like the place it is today, where everybody wants to move to. All right. It says, "For her sins have reached unto heaven." And this is figuratively speaking, if you don't know, for some of you knuckleheads out there. Some of you guys be taking this literally, like there's a stack of sins reaching to heaven. But this is a metaphor saying that she sinned so much that it's just enough now. And that's why man, we're always preaching that America is going to be destroyed soon, like next year, a couple months, 2 years max, because one, we're prisoners of hope, so we want to get up out of here. But two, we also, those of us that the Most High has opened up our minds to see the truth, we see every day America's sins stacking upon one another, reaching onto heaven, building up each and every day. Every day these devils wake up. They don't go to sleep unless they committed something wicked. One, because they enjoy it, and two is because that's their lot, man. That's just their lot. That's their spirit. Their spirit is in their spirit to do wickedness, just like it's in the spirit of the elect to do righteousness, or to want to do righteousness to the best of their abilities, at least. It says, "And Yahweh hath remembered their iniquities." A lot of you Edomites like to say that, yeah, well, it was my ancestors that put you to slavery. It wasn't me. The Most High says he visits the roughly paraphrasing, he visits the iniquities of the children's and the children's children's. And on top of that, you guys are your forefathers just reincarnated. All right, so you can't escape your judgment because the Most High remembers everything and knows everything. You can't make him a fool. It says, "Reward her even as she rewarded you," because America's done a lot to Israel, man, a lot. And the Most High is saying, "Reward her as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works." And you devils have done so much wicked things to Israel. So Most High is going to allow us to get revenge, and on top of that, it's going to be double what you did to us, so even worse. And you guys have done some next level wickedness, next level wickedness to Israel, man, to the Negroes, Latinos, and North American Indians. "In the cup which she hath filled, filled to her double. How much she has glorified herself." Yeah, that's right, man. America has pride, man. You guys, you elites in America, even you 2/3 Jakes in America, you feel like you run the world, and technically you kind of do, but your rulership is done. It's up. You don't rule the world no more. The Most High is getting ready to send Yahweh Shai soon, man. Like soon this year. Apostle Dahar, the Most High gave the message to the Apostle Dahar to declare this year the year of prophecy, man. So this is the year where a lot of these prophecies that we're waiting for to fully manifest are going to be manifesting at a high rate and a high speed. All right, so it's going to be popping like these prophecies are going to be popping like popcorn. Like I mean, pop, 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 right after your next, right after the other, bang, 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 and as soon as you notice, we're already going to be at the mark of the beast in the time of temptation. That's when shit's really going to be popping off, you know. So it says, how much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. Oof, man, America got it coming for her, I'm telling you. And when I say America, the land is just the land, but the people, because a place is a people before it is a place. So you wicked people, you 2/3 Israelites, and you heathens, and you top heathens, which you Edomites, you elites are gonna get it, man. For she saith in her heart, I sit as a queen, and am no widow, and she shall see no sorrow. And this is the mindset of the elites that run America, because the elites are the head, are the brains behind America. You guys run America, and this is your mindset that no one can touch you. That's why you actually are building an army to fight Yahushua. Because you actually think, you actually believe, as stupid as you is, you actually believe you can fight against the Most High and His Son and all the angels and the chariots and the elect. Where all their spiritual powers and all you got is this technology that can easily be broken. Well, you're gonna see. You guys are gonna find out how wrong you truly are about trying to come up against the Most High and His Son. It says, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning, famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. That's the those ICBM missiles I was talking about. They're gonna be rained down on America from these different countries, like Russia. Russia's prophesied in the Bible to rain down missiles on America. China, North Korea. All right, that's if you read the 17th chapter of Revelation, it talks about all of that. It talks about how the other nations are going to come up against America, because right now there's war because the other nations are sick and tired of America too, man. They're sick and tired of you elites running things, man. Because these other nations these other nations, like the kings of these other nations, so Putin, whoever the president is of China and all these different places, are looking to rule the world next, just like how America is ruling the world right now. So they're gonna come up against America as well. So America has a lot to deal with, man, in the near future. And mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burnt with fire, for strong is the Lord Yahweh power who judges her. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Because America is going to be a big fire pit, man. And the destruction of America, the Most High is going to have it set up where it's broadcast across the world on all these televisions. So everybody, no matter where you live on this planet, is going to see America being destroyed. All right? So it said, verse 10, standing afar off for the fear of her torment. Because once you see what the Most High does to America, you other nations are gonna tremble in your boots, man. You're gonna sit there and be like, holy shit, this is unbelievable. I can't believe what's going on right now. And it's gonna make you think twice before thinking of trying to rule in the next kingdom. It's saying, alas, alas, the great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise any more. And that's right, man. You know, there's gonna come a time where America's gonna run dry, because there's gonna come a time where America's not gonna be able to buy resources from these different countries. It's going to be shut off, cut off, and basically it's going to be dry. It's going to be bled out. America's going to be bled out of her resources, as if they don't already have no resources right now. The currency that America's built off of has no physical backing. All right, the fiat currency has no physical backing. That currency is already destroying the economy in America. How much more as the years or months go by? It's only a matter of time. And that's why when I made the video of the Bitcoin video and the Fedcoin video, all these things are just different. It's just online. It's cryptocurrency. So online currency, in other words. And all it is their way of trying to switch, because that's what they're going to do. They're going to switch to a newer currency, which is going to be by the way of the RFID chip. All right. Which is going to have to be inserted in you. And that's the only way you can buy or sell things in the new world coming up. All right, which is it could happen in a couple of months. It could happen a year from now. But there's no way we're gonna be here for another 5 years, 10 years, and plus. There's no way. Scriptures say that the Most High didn't speed up the day that Esau would do away with, lay waste with everything. Because that's how Esau is. That's his nature, man. It says the merchants of gold and silver and precious stones, and of pearl and fine linen, and fine linen, and purple and silk and scarlet, and all thine wood, and all manner vessels of ivory, and all manner vessels of most precious wood, and of brass, and of iron, and of marble. It says, and cinnamon, and odors, and ointment, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beast, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and souls of men. So, I mean, and this is key here, souls of men, because everybody in America is a slave. The only souls America that these elites don't have is the elect. The elite don't have the elect soul, because the elect didn't sell out to the white man. These elites, like Nate Satan, all right. The elites, these Edomites have Nate's soul, man. He sold his soul to Esau to make the money he's making. These elites have sold the soul to Esau to make the money and the fame